Hi guys. My name's Fred, and I'm going to start with an apology actually, because every time I get near a microphone, my voice gets even posher than it already is. I'm looking around, I can feel the plum in my throat just ripening at the sight of all of you. It's weird, I've been thinking about it a lot recently, and when you grow up privileged and posh, your parents do everything they can to keep that privilege hidden, right? So your education is private, your banking is private, your healthcare is private, but then at the end of all of this, they're also like, oh, and here is your incredibly private accent. That'll help you stay completely under the radar. I am quite posh. I'm also quite gay, which was a surprise to a lot of people, myself included. I actually found out I was gay, not through anything revolting like accessing my emotions, but through my bank manager. Because when you're posh, as I said, you get given a private bank account by the king. And these banks are staffed exclusively by middle-aged white men called Jerry. And Jerry rang me one very hungover Sunday morning, many, many moons ago, and he said, "Hello, Freddie." And I said, "Hello, Jerry." And he goes, "Look, a bit of a sticky wicket. We've actually found fraud on your card last night. And we'd like to go through your transactions to find out when the fraud started and when your transactions ended." And I said, "That's a great idea, Jerry." And he goes, "Excellent. At 8:30 p.m, you spent £24 in gay." And I thought to myself, that's not how you pronounce it, Jerry. You then spent £26 with the Admiral Duncan, possibly a client of the bank, before withdrawing £2,000 in Lagos, and then spending a further tenner renewing your subscription to some kind of foreign field sports website called Czech Hunter. And I thought to myself, fucking hell, Fred. Firstly, you've got to stop these midnight trips to Nigeria because they are wild. But secondly, I think you might be gay. But the great thing is about being posh and gay is one can go abroad to do it. Just pop along to Southern Europe, where everyone's pretty gay anyway, be as gay as you like. And that's exactly what I did. I went to live in Paris after uni, which, as we know, is very Southern Europe. And I had sex with a guy for the first time, and it was great. But all I could think about, weirdly, was school. Not because back then I'd yearned for it, although obviously I kind of had. I remember reading Down and Out in Paris and London thinking it was a manual. But also because, like, I don't know, many of us remember this, but back at school, just the word gay was ubiquitous slang for shit, right? Everything bad was gay. Maths was so gay. Your parents, problematically, were so gay. The weather could be so gay. Wind forward to Paris, and there's a guy's dick in my arse, and all I can think is, oh, this is pretty fucking gay. I wonder what the gay weather's take on this is, because, you know, like, it's pretty outrageous. But I should have known, really. I first went to boarding school when I was 7, and when I got there, I opted to play the bagpipes. Is there a gayer, louder cry for help than the bagpipes? You're blowing one end, fingering the other, and there's a sack in between. But no, I didn't actually quite like it. I liked my school. My parents chose it because it was close and rural. And if you think about it, a close boarding school really defeats the fucking point, doesn't it? It's very much a sign that the adoption papers were just a bit too tricky. And even then, even at the age of 7, even in between all the fucking mud baths and ferreting that went on there, that reality did kind of dawn on me. But no, I did like it. I liked it really for two main reasons. Firstly, the uniforms were pink, which was tremendous. And secondly, we had fucking hovercraft to drive in our spare time. Fucking hovercraft. We had 2 pet hovercraft in our little pink uniforms. It was so great. It was so camp. It was like Thunderbirds, but with actual paedophiles. So yeah, no, it was great. And I was able to go there, and I was able to kind of go through all my schooling life, really, because my granny, who paid the fees, and she's an extraordinary woman, my grandmother. She had 2 main hobbies, kleptomania, even though she had everything and lived in a fucking castle, and killing animals. Her kleptomania was amazing. She was like a shit Robin Hood. She stole from the rich, but she gave to the rich. She wasn't a particularly nice person. Like, the animals she enjoyed killing the most in her lifetime were dove, literally the messenger of peace. She shot thousands of dove in her lifetime, but the more I look back on it now, the more I kind of understand her, because she didn't have a message of peace. And frankly, it's very hard to love thy neighbour when you live within a moat. Thank you very much. What else was I going to say? I got slightly lost now. I had one other thought to finish off with, guys, was that the other day my boyfriend and I were repainting our flat, and repainting one room in the flat, and anyway, we were painting away, and it was a bit boring, and it was a bit of sexy time, and then it finished, and all I can remember thinking was to myself, thanks to all of my schooling life, I thought to myself, God, that's the second time I've come on Farrow and Ball. Anyway, that's it. Thanks very much. Thank you.